is I have been flat out trying to do bookings as well as recordings for December. And due to my internet, it's not uploading in time. So for some of you, you're going to be very lucky to actually get a live reading. Okay, so in the other videos, what I've done, which is depending on if you've been cross-watching, I've meditated on the energy of how we can gain perspective connected to the whole year, the forward motion we've had and what we've accomplished. Now, a lot of us, I have noticed, have had split energies, and that's where some of us over the last 3 months have done a lot of work. Now, the number 1 year has been about us really having a glass, tipping it upside down, and saying what no longer connects with us, we've had to throw out. Now, it has meant that it's felt like a tower event, and in 2016, you would have found that you didn't have a great deal of forward motion. So it was a very heavy year. You were really pushing through that energy to try and feel like you were moving forward, but really that there was no forward motion whatsoever. Librans especially, it's been a very huge year and few years really for evolving as a human being, so to speak, and really stepping into your power and growing up. And it's not that you have never been growing up, your perspective has completely changed. So this year has been anything directly connected to your work, you know, does it directly connect with you? And for those of you who have had to assess that factor and look at it and say, well, this job directly doesn't connect with me, you know, and having that leap of faith where you've had to jump into a different area or a different type of work or manage that energy in a different way, that has been very testing for you. And usually, you know, we'll have a major event happen, you know, per time. But when you've dealt with so many things in 1 year, it's been very challenging, but at the same time, very liberating. So for some of you, you might have come to a point where, and I do feel this is for all zodiac signs, work would have been in highlight, where you've had to really reassess the foundations of work and what directly connects with you. Relationships as well have been in highlight, what directly vibrationally connects with you. The number 1 year was all about doing things solo. That's not to say relationships weren't there. For all of us, it has been quite a multitasking energy where, yes, in some occasions we have been connected and in relationships, but really doing a lot of internal work. So it's been the type of energy where you've got to do the work, you know, on yourself. So your work has been in highlight, your relationships have been in highlight, people from the past coming back, you know, to really reassess that factor. A great deal of reconciliations have been coming through too, but not before the work has been done. You know, aspects of family dynamics from healing, from childhood has been going on. What else am I picking? Oh, and if you are wanting a booking, there is going to be a link, but I'll have to put it directly below after, obviously, because I'm not pre-recording these. I haven't got all that information there. On the website, there are products you can buy for chakra healing, for twin flames. There will be chakra teas coming soon. I am in communication with a person who provides chakra teas, so that will be placed on the website. Now, when I was saying that our energies have split, I have noticed, like I said, for the last 3 months, a lot of us who haven't done the work are going to be going over old ground. So what's going to happen is look at the aspects of the readings for the last 3 months, because what you're going to find is, and this will be a trend at the moment I'm feeling, is that there will be Librans, Geminis, and any other zodiac sign where if you're doing the work and you're not sweeping that aspect under the carpet of something that becomes quite challenging to deal with, what you're going to find is you're going to have the forward motion, and you may be at times listening to a relative video and finding you're actually further ahead. Now, if that's the case, you'd need to physically book a reading to see what the next challenges and steps and roads are going to be personally for you. You're more of an evolved soul, if that's the factor. For others of you, what you're going to find is if you're lagging in a sense emotionally where there are blocks, this can be chakra related. What you're going to need to do is try and take each thing that comes towards you in a sense of a challenge for an aspect of your life to be growing. So by dealing with those things, what you're going to need to do is actually do the work and try not to sweep it under the carpet. Yes, it is. It's for sun, moon, and rising. Okay, so I'm going to try and focus while I'm doing the reading. I'll try and read your comments and respond. So what I'm finding is there were elements of home that was in highlight in previous months. This again is still relevant, and it's because some of us aren't physically gaining the clarity connected to a sense of where we're physically moving or how home is going to look, or vibrationally what home is to us. Other elements connected to communication is a challenge as well, in a sense of us using our words. Now, we can bounce back and forward with our energies where we're becoming very assertive and maybe very reserved. So we need to keep those in mind, and it may be in previous years you've had physical challenges connected to communication. Now, Librans are fantastic communicators, so it's not as per se that your communication is the issue. The style directly connected to the person you are directly communicating with is the issue. So it may be that you need to alter the way in which you are communicating with certain individuals so that they can actually receive the information. It's a bit like sending it through a sinkhole instead of sending it through a telephone line. So you need to really channel that information of how it's going to work for you best in communicating with people. I'm hearing there is a time and a place to do this communication. When you are becoming ungrounded and unhinged connected to communication with this person who you have in mind, you're going to need to really sometimes remove your energy. That's so they can gain their perspective and clarity connected to the way they're dealing with things. Hello, Canada, how are you? So I am feeling as though communication related things are coming up. Now, I'll try and tune into what I'm feeling for you guys. So that's the general information of what I need to give you. Hello, everyone. Now, Librans, you're waiting on clarity, and this clarity has been long overdue. Hello, Libra. Now, I may end up doing these videos live quite often because I do find that they stream a lot quicker, and what I'll try and do is actually give you guys the heads up when these videos are going up, because I am finding that it's easier. Joy of technology. Yes, I have been guided too. I was actually very unwell yesterday. There had been a lot of challenges with getting the videos uploaded, have been working till 1 o'clock in the morning. So I went into a trance of, how could you put it? I rested, and I woke up and I thought, no, this just isn't working. I'm going to need to do this live. So here we are, we're live from Perth, WA, for those of you who don't know. Now, Librans, you guys have been really waiting on a sense of communication and also forward motion. Now, for those of you in your career, yeah, true, Mercury retrograde, but your energy levels don't have to always be impacted by these things. We can be aware of these aspects, but a sense of manifestation connected to taking our power and grounding ourselves is key to the situation. So that can be chakra related. Try not to give your power away connected to you thinking the 3D can actually directly alter that. At times, I do feel I am seeing the pause button, that sometimes you need to stop. You need to ground yourself in order to handle the challenges at hand at the moment. That's what I'm hearing. Now, by grounding yourself with the dynamics of the environment you're currently dealing with, you're going to get the best out of the situation. Now, if energetically you are tapping into other people's energy and you're sensing that people are pulling away or reacting, it's an aspect of yourself. So you can actually ground the energy. And when people are interacting with you, Yes, well, I get what you're saying. You get excited. You've got to ground yourself. So, you know, Librans are very intuitive people. You're very empathic, connected to. You can sense people's vibrations. So you may find that you're dealing with individuals where they're very energetic and you're assisting them with grounding them and trying to help them with aspects of clarity. And you'll find the very next day you will feel very agitated. So what you're going to need to do is really balance that. And I don't find Librans to be, how would you put it? A lot of the way that the zodiac sign is described in an aspect of being a Libran is that you're indecisive. I actually do not feel it's an aspect of being indecisive. Like I said, you would make great lawyers. You're very grounded, you're very rational, you're very fair connected to situations. So it's never been, you're not a quitter. So you want to gain all the clarity possible in order to make the best assessment of situations. So you're a very fair person connected to that, but it's not energy you're giving towards others. It's internally towards yourself that you're doing this. So a lot of what you're doing is you're rejigging how you deal directly with your energy and what you're wanting a final outcome to be, I'm feeling. And I did have a gut instinct that these videos might be a bit longer going live because we do interact with each other, so these things can happen. This is a common card that's been coming out for most of us. Okay. Now, business is boding very well. I do feel you guys actually having a lot of balls in the air at the moment and you're multitasking. You're wondering how you're going to get it all done, and suddenly, energetically, it does feel like there is a lot of action around you at the moment. So it might be that you're working overtime, or that you're trying to tie up loose ends very quickly, that people are coming to you for guidance, that intuitively speaking, you're sensing vibrations around people and it's agitating you. You're going to need to get yourself grounded. For, again, a lot of the zodiac signs, I have actually sensed that there is something transpiring around the time of Christmas. Now, obviously, you know, for many of us who do celebrate that, that's not to say we all do. Those times are relevant for trigger points. But for some reason, I'm very much feeling, for many of us, lots is happening prior to that event. Now, this doesn't have to fall directly on Christmas. For some of you who are having family come from distant places, I'm feeling as though the connection could be a different day totally to the actual date as such. So this will be relevant to how it fits for you personally. Now, I'm seeing that you're going to change what you usually do around that time, and that's because something vibrationally had to change. Now, it can be dynamics directly connected to family, which are trigger points, or a way in which you feel is vibrationally correct for you now. You need to do something different. So it might be that, you know, it's always at your house, or you always do something in a particular way, or you only give too much energy to one side and not another. There feels like there's a balancing act, but this doesn't feel anything really to do with others. It feels directly connected to you. So it may be that you do go and you do connect at these times, but you're going to need to make a pocket, and it feels like it's, yeah, it feels like you intend to do the correct thing, but your intention has changed. Your intention is directly that you're going to do the right thing by you, because you have this gut instinct something's happening. Now, I don't know whether it's your intuition connected to the day and something that will transpire on that day, but it's like you're preparing yourself for something and giving yourself a little window to escape if you need to. Now, that can be simply to ground yourself, because a lot of what maybe you are manifesting and focusing on is physically nothing to do with Christmas. I'm reading some of the comments. Yeah. Look, and at this time of the year, it's normal to have these energetic feelings where it's very, very tense. We're leading up to the new year. You know, we're kind of looking over where we've come from, the growth we've had, maybe some of the trials that we've dealt with this year. And then, you know, jumping over into the next side, there must be aspects connected to job, money, and being prepared for next year. Because a lot of the reasons why I was picking on this occasion that November and December was going to be very energetic wasn't for the traditional reasons. It was that being in a number 1 year, we have done a lot of soul work. So moving into the number 2 year, for those of us that are more evolved, it will feel more energetic, and we will be working very hard in certain areas of our life. And it might be that for a long time at a financial level, you know, employment income was steady, but now you're really manifesting that because you're vibrationally changed and said to yourself, this aspect of life is not acceptable, and I accept more for myself right now. So finalizing that work prior to moving into 2018, energetically, we're triggered to really work on those aspects so we can bounce forward with that firm foundation. Now, 2017 has felt like a tower card where each brick has been removed, where we have that very firm foundation, and the correct bricks have been placed back that were correct for us for who we vibrationally are now. Now, what's going to happen by 2018 is, being a number 2 year, it's all about connections, contracts, relationships really being cemented and fine-jigged to a point where they're kind of merging better. So a lot of us might have been directly connected to the past, which has very much come back because we had to regress and do a 360, but now we're going to be bouncing forward. And as we do that, the energy levels are very intense, so you need to keep yourself grounded to handle that energy. Work is going to bode very well for you guys in 2018. I do see massive growth at a financial level, but you're very good at balancing. It might be temporarily you're putting the foundations down right now to free yourself to have more connections with people later. Now, so it's like, I feel for some of you, you may have business, you might have career advancement, but yeah, and anyway, balancing for a lot of us is going to be very necessary. So if you're getting agitated and you're finding you're working a lot all of a sudden and it feels like a strange energy, why is all this work coming through? It's there to prepare you for what's coming. They're always energetic indications of the reasons why things are coming up, especially when you think, gosh, I haven't been this busy. Why all of a sudden am I being called upon to do extra shifts? And there's always a reason. And blocks in the road also don't dictate. I'm getting a phone call. That's very inconvenient. I hope to goodness no one calls on this number. Blocks usually are an indication not of you're on the wrong road, but that you're too fast. So sometimes it's there to physically slow you down so that you are aligned correctly for that correct given point. Now, I do see for some of you, hello. Now, for those of you who have gone through the energy of looking at jobs, now, a lot of you probably would have had this feeling in the beginning of the year, and I'd say around 2017, January, February, March. Now, for those of us who had to work through that energy, and I'm talking from an us point of view because I'm talking about you guys, you know, many of us who were further along in that journey and aspect of growth and change directly were doing that earlier on in the piece. That's why I'm saying that I am feeling there is a split connected to each zodiac sign of who's where and, you know, why they're doing things. Now, for those of you who have done that transition already, it has been a very heavy energy and it has been very challenging at times. You need to be very proud of yourself for what you've accomplished. Although initially you may not have felt that there has been huge growth, it's yet to come and it's very close. And I do feel massive growth really from all the way through to March. It just feels like it's growing at a financial level for you guys. Family life has changed, and for many of you, you may have an unwell family member that you are directly looking at. Now, you can actually energetically white light them. to assist them with this. And vibrationally, when you're thinking on them, you need to physically try not to tap into an aspect of negativity. Now, this can be a vibration you're tapping into that is their energy. When you're feeling that, what you're needing to do is try and think of the very best possible outcome to empower them, to ground them and assist them. Now, I do actually feel guides directly around you at the moment, probably in the last 4 months that have been around you guys, that have passed over and are physically around you, emotionally speaking, to assist you with aspects you've currently been dealing with that have been very heavy energy. Now, some of you have been really, really looking over old ground connected to relationships and, you know, what has been going on with that, what life looks like. Lots of trigger points have been coming up connected to your past, connected to past tense hurts, family dynamics, you know, the communication aspect of how you guys kind of bind in that you are the scales and you're very much, you're the ones that help that family unit have that communication. But for some given reason, it's felt in years gone by that has really impacted you, that's really, you've had to really manage that energy, and you've almost felt like, yes, you have been the balancer, but somehow the energy has almost attacked you for, you know, what you were doing for the family unit or in the workplace. Lots of energy has challenged you in years gone by to keep you in a box. And that box has been there not to suppress you, but to make you angry, but you're changing the anger into empowerment, where you're saying, no, I don't fit in that box, that's not acceptable. I think vibrationally speaking, you knew what you were worth, you knew what your worth was, but now you're coming to a place where you're saying, I don't fit that box. People were saying this was all I could do within a workplace or within a relationship or what I equated to. And now you're saying, no, that's not correct. That's never been so. But somehow the information had absorbed into you to a point where you were feeling that's all you were vibrationally entitled to. And that box was there to make you fight for your aspects of your rights and what you knew to be true within yourself. But until you could physically tell yourself those aspects, those things were not going to become relevant in the here and now. So we'll tune into what's going on. And like I said, these will probably be a little bit longer. I don't ever think you need to look for a relationship. And look, a lot of us in 2017 were looking over old relationships in a way to heal. And for some of you, it may be past related situations coming back, and it can go left or right for you. It depends on what you vibrationally, and I think deep down you vibrationally know. If a person is for you, it might be due to past tense hurts, you know, that you block that aspect where you won't move forward. That is what's vibrationally correct for you. If they're just blocks, yet you are continually thinking about a person as such, then that's your answer, and you need to focus on that, not the fear-based situations going on. Because when those fear-based situations come up, what you need to do is dig through the pain. And until you dig through the pain, vibrationally speaking, you won't pull the wall down, so the universe will not let you receive a relationship. Now, this relationship doesn't have to be with a man or a woman or a woman or a woman or however you put it. It can be with your family. So until you can heal aspects of family or a connection where somebody has physically failed you, to bring the wall down enough to let somebody in, the universe will not send you somebody. So once you've done that work, don't bother looking. It will come to you. It will be natural pivot towards you, like it was naturally ready to happen. Like planting a seed, watering it, and it's coming. It's the same situation. From there, you need to get to a point where you realize the secondary aspect of healing can only ever come through a direct connection. So you will think many aspects in life from previous situations have been healed, but physically they can't be completely until you're putting that into practice and having those trigger points come up. And only through that can you actually have that aspect of healing where you can physically move forward into a relationship where it's healthy and at that balanced level. And this is what the number 1 year was for in every aspect of life, to really get to that very real place. So we knew what we would and wouldn't accept, so we could learn to communicate correctly, so we could fall into our truth and actually completely be okay with it, and not really worry about what the external world felt about your direct decision of what you felt was vibrationally right, but what you actually wanted for yourself, and not putting yourself third, fourth, fifth. But a lot of us have actually had aspects of past tense relationships come up into trigger, and many reconciliations happening, and many foundations being rebuilt connected to this. Okay, so what am I picking? Money. Okay, you truly do need to think outside the box. So it might be that you guys are coming to a place where you are looking at different elements of life on a financial level, and maybe working outside the traditional spheres of the normal workplace. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're working in a traditional job. It could be that you're doing something very unconventional to make money. Whatever you're currently doing or manifesting directly connected to cash from December is like you're planting a seed that is moving through to 2018. So what you're working on in this year and finalizing it, and also placing that intention out there, is very necessary right now to move forward. Thank you, Aries. To move forward with what you want. Now, you've got worlds within worlds. You need to really believe that what is to come has been destined, has the utmost of amazing possibility connected to a cash component. You plant that seed, 2018 is looking very financial for you, very, very, very energetic, in a sense that things that are going to come towards you, you would have never believed possible. So it might be contacts, it might be contracts, it may be you fall into a position and you think, wow, this was amazing. And then suddenly it ends up being something totally different and taking you on a journey where you never felt remotely possible. And it feels like a very exciting thing. It also feels like it is, well, yes, here's hoping. I mean, you know, lotteries definitely. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, and that's for YouTube. But your luck, in a sense, it's the power of manifestation. You need to physically believe. But, you know, it's a sense of creativity. It sort of feels as though it's something you're physically wanting to co-create. And you have this reinstalled kind of mindset connected to an ability to generate cash. So kind of think lighter when it comes to possibilities. Just think possibilities and it's coming. But it does seem like there could be major changes directly connected to career, and where you could feel like you've landed yourself a major deal, and you think that's wonderful, and then suddenly something comes out of left field which is even more lucrative than it physically looked in the very beginning, and you were very humbled and grateful for what you physically had. So ground yourselves. It does feel there could be travel directly connected to this. Thank you. I appreciate all of your support. It's almost been a year. This month is the 1 year anniversary of me being on YouTube, and it's been an amazing ride. I've really enjoyed all of the connections and all of the family that we've created here. Now, financially speaking, I feel you're going to be very grateful, but it's because you're more at peace with yourself. You're more in control of what you're wanting in your life, and I feel a great deal of peace. Something is going to bring you a great deal of peace. Now, for some of you guys, it's gratefulness that it might be aspects of money coming through. This could be something of an aspect of inheritance, but it doesn't feel like it's happening now. For those of you who this is relevant to, this will be something that happened a long time ago and money is coming to you directly connected to this. So, because it feels like a very peaceful energy. It doesn't physically feel like it's something that's just happened or about to happen. This is something that happened a while ago, and it can be that your spirit guides or someone who's passed over is actually helping you manifest this aspect of peace, as well as aspects of empowering you to be able to move forward and have these blessings that are coming to you. They're assisting you somehow. And it might have been communication that you had many moons ago. And it can be that they're coming into your dreams and directly communicating with you. But I do see loved ones around you very prominently around this time of year that are really, from the 5D world, trying to help you see the possibilities. Okay, something's blocking you though in an aspect. So it might be that you never saw this coming and you're really questioning yourself whether you can handle this. Now, the funny thing is, it's a bit like you looking at a scenario and saying, I can see the possibility. You guys really think well in emergency situations. So try and see the amusement in this factor, because it's like somebody has handed you this golden opportunity and you're so shocked by this process that you're thinking, well, gosh, can I handle it? You can, because you've been doing it for so very long. You are the tool. You are the skill. You have all you need to actually handle this aspect. So you need to fully trust that what's coming is because you're able to do it. So please try not to question it. Try and find some amusement in the balancing of those scales and you know, thinking that's even going to be an issue, because it's more, you haven't even had time to process what's happening, because what is going to be happening very quickly in the cash field. And it might just like take you by surprise, and that's why you're thinking, gosh, I'm a bit overwhelmed by all of this. Can I actually balance these balls in the air? Try and find it amusing, which will help ground you, because you're going to be able to handle the energy. I'll say that. You'll be able to handle it. It's nothing you can't handle. We're never given anything we can't handle. Family, okay. You're trusting in your intuition, and this is what I was saying, directly connected to Christmas, gatherings, New Year. Follow your instincts and intuition. If you're feeling low, be careful tapping into negative scenarios. So, you know, for those of you who do watch lots of different readers, you'll have your go-to readers that you can go to, and it can be something where you're thinking, I want the light and fluffy, or I want the straight to the truth. Really, if you are not grounded, do not watch any video on YouTube. You need to just go get grounded, go and have a bath, wash that negativity off, you know, cleanse your house, take a breath, tune out. Then go back to it when you vibrationally feel correct. If you can use your energy that way, it's a very good way to use that in your life as well when it comes to work, needing to retreat when necessary. Follow the vibrations of what you're feeling. Directly connected to family, you know that you can handle this. You know you get vibes. You have to go with the flow and trust in what you're thinking and feeling, and maneuver your way through situations to protect yourself. But I do feel you're getting a gut instinct connected to something. Okay, now, you're not choosing. Okay, how do you cleanse your house? You can use a smudge stick, sage. Depending on your culture, your tradition, lots of different ways you can. Now, you can air your house out. You can clean it. You can open the windows and doors. You can use smudge sticks, sage sticks. Europeans actually use dried olive leaves and they smoke the house. Play meditation music, light some candles. There's different ways you can do it. But know when you've been in a toxic environment and you're coming home, at some point your home will need to be detoxified. So if you're working in a very energetic field and you're coming home, you're bringing that energy constantly home, and you will walk in and it will feel heavy. You will know then it needs cleansing. And if you're coming back from a place, be it a family member's home or, you know, a work or somebody who is a heavy energy, you need to go have a shower when you get home. It's called detoxifying. You need to wash that energy off, go and ground yourself and do something totally unrelated, meditation music if you need to, so that you're in tune the next day. Otherwise, you'll find your energy will be very agitated the next day. Now, some of your priorities you're not really choosing correctly. This is directly connected to family. And I don't feel it's you're naturally not using your instincts connected to this. I feel as though it's more to do with you being pulled in too many directions. So again, I am feeling this isn't a negative card. Some of it is an aspect you have to physically do. So what you need to do is go with the flow. If you're being led down different roads, they're an aspect of a place you need to be at a given time. So trust it. You might be thinking, gosh, I have so much on my plate. This person's called me. Gosh, I've got to go pick this person up. How am I going to get there on time? Breathe. You're going to get there on time. Try and enjoy the bumps because they're there for a reason, but it's trying to educate you that you can handle this. And maybe it's triggering you into a point where you say, no, enough is enough. This isn't happening anymore. And I mean, I've done that to a degree as well, where I've physically, yes, you can buy them on eBay, the smudge sticks and the sage sticks, or you can go to the website and I've got them on there as well. You can buy them anywhere. You can buy them at, you know, chakra shops and... Okay, so some of it I feel directly connected to family is that you see the bigger picture. You're not listening to your intuition, but you're not balancing that. So the reason you're not balancing it is because you don't feel you're ready to take that challenge. Now that challenge might be, like I said, you always do something in a particular way and then suddenly you're going, but I'm really tired of doing that in the particular way. And it might be a routine everyone has. We're all going to wear red jumpers and we're all going to catch up at this given point in time and it's going to be like this. And something's changed to trigger that and you're thinking, no, but I don't want to do that. You need to own it with integrity and speak your truth ahead of time. And then you've actually dealt with an aspect of, you know, personal growth where you've empowered yourself and you've said, well, this doesn't vibrationally feel correct for me. Guys, that's what a number 1 year is. So step up to the challenge with it and deal with those energies in a balanced way, so that you're being respectful to your needs, and then people can then learn to respect you. If you can't respect you, nobody else can. And it doesn't have to be an agitated energy. It needs to be an honorable energy, and that can actually educate others to then do that for themselves. So try and look at it that way. Okay, at the moment you're not getting clarity within a family situation, and that's frustrating you. And I do feel you're not supposed to yet. I feel you need to learn just this month to be in the moment, to deal with the aspects of what's going on, focus on yourself, and just be in the moment and go with the flow. Go with the flow till the new year, because it is a number 2 year and things flow better. So if you need time out, have time out. If you are, you know, spreading yourself too thin, balance it out and ground yourself and get some rest and keep moving through that energy, because anything that's coming towards you is an aspect to purge for the end of this year, because we've had a massive amount of purging this year, all of us. In your general life, okay, in some shape or form, again, Christmas, you're hoping for clarity. You're hoping for clarity. Sometimes it feels like the reception is very cold. Sometimes you're feeling as though the clarity is not there and something has been put on hold or put on ice. Trust in the aspect of that, because you've got to understand all these energies you're physically feeling, everybody's feeling. So if we can have compassion for ourselves, we can have compassion for other people that are physically going through this right now. Enjoy the time you have with people, enjoy the energy you're having with people. If information's not coming through, just picture it as a pause button. Focus more on the 3D. Focus on the fact that you may have a nice plant at home, or, you know, New Year's Eve is coming and you might be having a glass of champagne. Try not to focus on the negatives, because it's a temporary energy. That's what I'm hearing. It's a temporary energy. Yes, initially in the first week, I'm feeling not a lot of clarity is coming through. I do feel some plans are changing. So you think you're doing something and then it changes and then you're doing something else. Try and find the amusement in it, and go with the flow, because I am feeling by about the 3rd or 4th week, you may have a little retreat and it's going to be very enjoyable. Okay, there will be the get together, and like I said, there's so many people over the world that celebrate things in a different way. The way I'm feeling is it's going to happen. It's just going to be different this year than it's ever been. So it's going to be interesting. I'd love to hear your comments later, you know, after those party times that you're having. So for some of you, it might be that your family can't come on actual Christmas, or they can't be there New Year's Eve. So you're going to meet up on, you know, 2018. Tell me how this relates. I'd love to hear it. In your general life, I'm going to pull a clarity card on that. That's interesting. Don't even know how that directly relates. You've got someone around you who's being a little bit tricky to handle. And again, it might be that they're very cold at the moment, or your general life is feeling like it feels like it could be a big joke. And only because you're very... Okay, you're very goal orientated. So when you set your mind to something, you're ready to do it right here, right now. And it takes a long time for you guys to make an assessment, because you've made the healthiest, most, you know, all-rounded assessment possible. So when you gather that information and then you're ready to act, and the other energies around you aren't, like, you're like, why are you doing this? Why aren't you moving? Because you see it like almost like the eagle's point of view, where you can see it from the top and you can see everything. You've done your assessment. So then when you've got tricky situations coming around you and people not acting like they should connected to the situation, it starts concerning you and you're thinking, well, what's going on? I'm ready to act. So it can be that you're looking at something, or there could be a person around you that is quite a tricky situation. You're having to really work your way around this to get the best outcome. And it's not your energy. It doesn't feel like it's a massive negative energy. It's not the right time to make an assessment. That's what I'm hearing. And the reason is, it's not you. And for those of you who are partnered or in a tricky situation in a partnership, it feels external situations impacting it, time frames impacting it. So it directly isn't, the person is tricky, or they're doing dodgy things behind your back. The situation at hand is tricky, and it's been put on hold, but I think it might be for the integrity of the jolly season. Does that make sense? So forward movement might be happening more towards the end of the month. Clarity will be coming through more towards the end of the month. It's like we've been put in a little, you know, those snow cone things, just so we can get a moment to stand still, gather our thoughts of what we have learnt, what we've experienced this year. And it's saying, what's the rush? Be in the moment. Okay, directly connected to this tricky situation. Yeah, like the snow globes, you know, like we're stuck in a bubble and we're thinking, well, why can't I move outside this bubble? I really want to be doing what I have planned to do. There's a big wide world out there, but I'm stuck in this glass ball. Pause and be in the moment for a moment. Even, it's like a block on the road. You take a block on the road as a no from the universe. Not always. Sometimes these blocks on the road are directly there to align you at the correct given time. So this tricky situation or person that is, you know, trying to pull the wool over your eyes, or I feel it's they're pulling the wool over their own eyes. So they might be really looking at something and knowing the truth of the situation, but being very scared to actually move beyond that, because they've done elements of healing, but now they're really unsure. And it can be for some of you moving into a relationship or their energy, so you'll need to cross-reference theirs. A decision is going to be made, okay? So this is your clarity card. A decision is being made. And I mean, my zodiac sign is Libra, but most of my chart is Cancer with my Venus house in Scorpio. So for me, I've been seeing the dragonfly. And this is all about, you know, try and meditate on the best possible, you know, outcome. You're getting signs, but you're evolving. And this is why we're feeling this way is, you know, aspects of change are happening. And you're still wanting the clarity. But, you know, deal with that energy with integrity and grace, which you guys all have, you know, that energy of. Yeah, lots of dragonflies. It's been insane. You're coming into that peaceful place where you're physically evolving. You know who you are. You know what's correct for you. Don't get caught up in your head where you're thinking, oh, have I really, you know, have I really made the right decision? You're where you're supposed to be. You're dealing with energies you're supposed to be dealing with. Nothing is a facade. Environmentally, vibrationally, you've learned a great deal. So who you are and who you're moving into be, sometimes your spirit changes, but you know, your body hasn't caught up. So it's when it kind of merges to one and you've kind of got yourself grounded, that's when you say, well, I'm all good. I have changed. I've physically evolved. I know what I want. I know where I'm going. I know my power. It might be that you're questioning who you are as a person. Okay, you need to keep going because you're on the right track. It's basically saying don't question it. Don't get into that, you know, 3D and be going, oh, God, you know, what I'm seeing right now isn't very positive. So therefore, all that work I've done over the last year is for nothing. No, it's not. Calm down. Just pause. Try and focus on something other than, you know, the factor maybe that is on pause for the moment. And that isn't to punish you. It's to have that respect connected to New Year's, Christmas, tying up loose ends. Give the external, you know, that option to do that. You are on the right path. It's not that you're on the wrong path. And your emotions are heightened because of this. But have fairness connected to the external as well, that they're going through this too. So if it is a partner where they're tying up loose ends, have the respect and the integrity connected to the jolly season, and that spiritually and emotionally speaking, you know, they're going through the change and the assessment of all of 2017, and you're doing this too. It's a very emotional time of the year. Hello. Okay, so we will get on to singles. Big shout out, singles. Hello. I'll just read some of your comments. Sometimes we need to not focus on what they're not seeing. I know physically, spiritually for me, I've like had this gift for 25 years. What happens is we jump back into the 3D. Yes, singles is next. So what we do is jump into the 3D and we're going, what we visually can see is I can see what you're doing and you're not doing it right. Yes, that's correct. Okay, that's fair enough. But what you need to get is people learn by making mistakes. And sometimes by you guiding a person in a certain way was not that you actually extend that road. Because sometimes that was for them to learn and see without your energy input directly connected to it. So you physically need to, and this is for singles and couples, I'm going to be doing the singles in a minute. You need to just trust in the process. So if you're panicked and you're seeing someone do something, you know, outside the box of what your belief system is, or that you're feeling, gosh, they should have tied up these loose ends, when on earth are they going to do it? Let them do it correct to them, because you don't want their energy to then move towards you. Ahead of them vibrationally accepting their transition, because it won't bode well. You need to let them energetically fall into that and be and heal that aspect so that they can move forward. Now, what deck am I going to use? I'll use this deck. Okay. It's going to be a long day. Singles. I'm reading some of your comments. Okay, for those of you who are single, again, I'm feeling a 50-50 energy. Now, when I'm saying 50-50, those of you who have done assessments and moved forward, you're beyond that. So you might be completely okay being single. But some of you, I am seeing that you're considering a person, you're considering an offer. You're actually thinking in your mind about a previous situation. Now, it can be that this person has come into your circle energetically and they're communicating with you. You already know what you want to do, but I feel as though you're waiting. You're actually vibrationally know how you feel, but you're also coming to a place where the proof is in the pudding. So you're actually wanting them. There's something you're wanting them to show you for you to have the final, you know, I'm ready for this, I'm okay, it feels safe. And that's what I'm hearing, it feels safe. And you're wanting an aspect of safety connected to your decision. For some of you, this is someone you knew for a very long time. Now, again, there's many energies out there. So I can see a Libra that has this person that they've known from childhood. There's another person that is dealing with simply childhood related issues and trust. Very much I feel you guys have come to a place where you have peace connected to family, and there's a trigger point coming up in family. And someone's asking you to make closure connected to it, but you already have. You already know that you've done the work. You already know that you can't turn back time, and that, you know, it very much is what it is. And you accept your life for what it is, where you are right now. This person does remind you of a parent figure. Yeah, well, dreams are coming up as well, and they are direct signs, you know, of sometimes when you have a dream directly connected to a given person, at that given point in time, they're physically thinking about you. Now, the clearer the dream, the more that both of you are in sync. And also, if you do see this person in your dream and they're talking to you, they want to make a connection with you. And sometimes it can mean they're actually in trouble, and that's the only way they physically can communicate with you. I do feel for some of you, you're wondering if you're going to see this person at an important date. Okay. So, yeah, you're wondering if you're going to see this person at an important date. This could be that for some of you, you're thinking, I have chosen this person, them, or they're my chosen one. And you're wondering when they're going to choose you. I feel that, again, as an aspect of affair connected to you. And it's not that they haven't chosen you. It's that you need to actually choose you. So trust in the process. Trust what's going on. Okay. You have gone through something, and this might have been most recently. This might be a trigger point that come up that stemmed really far back. Now, a lot of what is going through your mind, moving into December, it can be because of New Year's and Christmas and the year ending and things changing. You're wondering if you're ever going to have that connection, and it's really, really frightening you. You're thinking, is something going to take it away? Is something going to ruin it? Is everything going to be fine? Am I going to be alone? It's just an energy of purging. Trust in it. I do feel it's a fleeting energy. So I am feeling you'll move through it and you're going to be fine. Your work life is doing successfully. You know, it's really, really going well. But also, energetically connected to this person, you do know them well enough. So you know how the thing's going to transpire, what's going to come about. Also, your intuition connected to this is that, you know, you do know this is the person and you don't feel the cycle has ended. You know directly that at times you do get up in your head and you question the situation, and maybe it has taken a very long time to get off the ground, and energetically that's why you're feeling so frustrated connected to it, because you're thinking, gosh, do I dare to believe? If I do dare to believe, is it possible, or will I kid myself and really be feeling stupid somehow? You do have the power in this situation, and the love and the connection is directly for you. So try to trust. It might be proximity differences as well, I'm saying, that the person might not directly be close by to you, so you're looking at that as an aspect of a block. Never ever look at the 3D as an aspect of a block, because the heart is so much stronger and the soul is so much stronger that energetically you will be pulled together, and that boundary will no longer be a boundary in some shape or form. That both of you have power in this situation, and it can be very much a soulmate twin flame connection. Again, you know, whatever you're currently dealing with energetically, this can be emotionally, it can be your opinion of the situation. You're thinking it's not going to last. Now, this can be your opinion connected to this person and you, and that can be fear-based, or it can be that due to the situation, how would it work? How can it work? Also, if they are coupled and you're considering aspects of it and you can see the reasons they haven't removed themselves from a situation, I don't feel you're influencing this in a sense of you're impacting it to a point where you're trying to ruin their life. You environmentally can visually see that they're unhappy, and you can see at some point they will move into happiness and away from a toxic situation. But it is causing doubt, because you see sometimes they're actually really punishing themselves and living in that energy, and you're thinking, why are they doing that? Like, and why do I have this energy around me as well? Because it can be vice versa, where these energies are things you're directly feeling connected to yourself. I'll pull some chakra cards, and that's going to give us a bit of an indication of where the blocks are and how I did say I'm going to create an album for chakra, and you can Google them yourself. There is chakra music at the moment playing in the background, if you can hear it. And that's to ground you guys. And you know, once you get that block removed, what happens is emotions will be triggered. So I can say do it while you're sleeping, because energetically your body can actually heal a bit more. It can make you very fatigued, because when that block comes undone, a bit like Reiki, it can make you very emotional and very tired. Again, that's an aspect of, you know, kind of flushing a toilet and purging. So, yeah. Sometimes don't do it all in one hit, all the chakras, because it can really, you know, bam you out. Okay, the reason why you're working on your assessment directly connected to relationships as a whole. So you feeling fretful, the block is you're the block. So if you focus on yourself, because you've got this card in reverse, if you focus on yourself and realize you need to mentally and emotionally and physically come to a very peaceful place and stop questioning yourself, because it's the fear-based situations that are talking rubbish in your head, and that's really triggering you. So try and get a great outfit, you know, try and really have that nice talk towards yourself and say, you're being stupid here, you know, what are you talking about? Of course you're awesome. Whatever it is directly connected to relationships where it's creating an aspect where you're feeling unworthy. All of us are physically worthy of love and respect, and a perfect given situation, but nothing's perfect. So stop trying to be perfect yourself. Okay. The person you are in love with currently isn't with you at the moment or near you as much as you would physically like. It might be that you're focusing too much on work, because you have this card in reverse, And of course, B does symbolize love, but you got it in reverse, and it's directly connected to, you know, you might be working a lot. Also, the person who you know so much about, maybe not directly with you, or if they are, either you or them are very busy with situations, and it's making you feel a disconnect. And through that disconnect is not negative, it's positive, because it makes us really, you know, start working on ourselves and getting grounded to a point you can physically come to a place where you will appreciate that connection when it comes. Okay, so in order to get the energy to move, okay, from this location of your fear, it's either currently you're visually seeing a situation that is toxic and unhealthy and you see the bigger picture. Communication's not coming, and that's what's frustrating you. So it's like stagnation. If this is the energy you feel about yourself, you need to have that self-talk and say, well, you know, why do you think that's all you're going to have? Why do you think you're only going to have the negative? And the key to the whole situation, the doubts and the insecurities you're having at the moment, is because you need to get grounded. So this is all about family and your base chakra. So if you can get yourself grounded, the energy is going to move. It's in your, you know, in your life, it's going to move to a point where it will be positive. Okay, let's look at the external situations going on for singles. Okay. You physically will get excited because something is going to start moving. And I'm thinking this is by the 2nd or 3rd week. There is movement, there's forward movement. But also, again, in the money sector and an idea you have in mind, this can be connected to a person born on the 7th month. This can also be within 7 days you hear something, or you have been working and waiting for 7 months, something directly connected to 7. But it's a manifestation, so it's something you've physically been hoping, manifesting, working on. Hopes will be reinstated, and it is going to move forward. Okay, the key to this whole situation is to be very playful. There is enough love here. You have this card in reverse, so there is love, and you have done the work connected to loving yourself first. And by being playful, okay, I feel like you shared something with this person. Now, it can be an aspect of sadness. It can be a commonality, if that makes sense. So it's like maybe both of you at different intervals in your life have experienced a similar situation. And, you know, this is really going to bridge the gap, so to speak. It's like, or you do have a direct understanding, like you really know each other. Yeah, it's strange energy, strange energy. This is your true love. Now, what are they doing? Let's see what they're doing. They've got a heavy energy going on around them. I feel, try and white light them. They've got a very heavy energy. Okay, they're very tense. They're very, very tense. They're very stressed by this transition for themselves or what's going on, and they're really unhinged at the moment. Okay, they are ready to move though, so they are going to find the strength, and they are coming out of a very toxic situation or toxic way of living, so to speak. It does feel as though they are going to get the balance back, but their spirit is very, very heavy, very tired, but it's also starting to get angry. to a point where they're saying, no, enough is enough, I'm not doing this. Okay, there might be, you might hear this through the grapevine, not directly connected to the horse's mouth, so to speak. There might be gossip around this person as well, connected to maybe what they did and how things have gone. I feel in general that they are good people. I don't feel it's that they're bad, and the gossip is connected to the fact that they're bad people. It feels that energies around them have really given them a great deal of a hard time, and, you know, they're getting out of it. Pull the romance angels for those. Okay, interesting. So for them, they can actually be married. It can be they're considering a connection in a sense of having a deeper connection with you. It can be that you were connected to them in the past. So it's a soul connection, a connection that either was there or is to come. Connected to a person they might have had a connection with, and I'm not feeling this is your energy, I'm feeling it's an external energy to you. There's no connection between them. Something has really fizzled out. This could have been something that they dealt with a long time ago and they haven't been with the person and they've been emotionally purging. So it depends on how it directly relates. Again, you'd have to cross-reference and watch their zodiac sign, otherwise book a reading. Now, you're wanting the reconciliation or the reconnection or the connection with this person. It won't happen right away because they're releasing themselves mentally, emotionally, physically before this can happen. So it is positive to have that in the reverse because it's still something they want. It's that it's not happening right now. So don't take that personally. If you could, you know, have that crystal ball and have it said where, yes, they're coming, that's what it's physically feeling like. It's just, you know, if you knew that, you would then go off with your life and go do what you needed to do for 4 weeks so you could have a very happy Christmas and New Year and you would feel very grounded and happy. That's sort of the energy that's coming through. It's like, please don't stress about it. This is an aspect of something that needs to happen to tie up loose ends prior to this situation can get off the ground. So try and energetically, you know, white light yourself and white light them. Be patient, have faith. Shuffle these up. And I may pull some advice cards and then jump onto... Yes, I always have a spirit around me. I have several actually. I have my grandmother and I have a very tall being that is always with me from before birth. Over 7 foot. That was my childhood actually. They would always be standing next to my bed. A bit like the movie The Sixth Sense. That was my childhood. So I never looked at this as a blessing. But I realised very quickly they wouldn't leave me alone till I actually dealt with what they wanted me to deal with. And here I am today. Okay, what's going on with them is that at the moment there are blocks, but the blocks are there directly because there are some tasks they need to physically deal with, and this can be you as well, tying up of loose ends, dealing with all those things that need to be done. You might even consider that to be Christmas, New Year, work parties. Okay, stand your ground. Have your truth. Don't let your friends tell you otherwise. And everything is going to flow through correctly. Yes, it is. It's not really a man. I wouldn't really. It's a thing. And that's not for the reading. That's for the person that wrote the comment. Yeah. It's okay. I've had psychics tune into it and I find it amusing. I don't know what you would call it. I just remember from before birth it was there, and it's been there all the time. Okay, happy times are coming, all right? So don't freak out. Don't get up in your head about it. Happy times are coming. So that's the advice for you guys. Try and enjoy the silly season. And, you know, just know that it's a process. And as you are doing things in life to work and grow and purge, so too are they. So it is moving. Couples. So do we prefer these live? Okay. Oh, couples. What is going on for you guys? Now, when you are in between two situations, I used to do the in-betweeners, but you can still grab energies from couples and singles. They will still be relevant for you. So if you're sort of feeling you're in a relationship, but you're not really in a relationship, but, you know, only because the tag hasn't been put on it, don't get up in your head. Watch both, because there's going to be direct information on both sides. Or again, you can book a reading. You guys have an aha, not an aha moment. You got this sighing energy, you know, where you're thinking, gosh, things going to get off the ground. Why is there so much to do? Where is the clarity? In a way, I don't know why, but I'm going to see you guys laugh about something. Something is going to amuse you this month. You know, you're having moments where you're laughing. You're having moments where you're crying. I'm glad you like live. It does feel a bit easier. And I generally, when I do a video, I don't edit it. It's like, what is what is. They're the energetic messages. So, you know, but if I don't directly feel that the energy is correct, I will not upload it. I'm very fussy. So it's either it is or it isn't. That's it. There's no ifs and buts about it. Okay, so for you guys, I'm feeling as though you have made your decision connected to something, connected to a road. So it might be, again, there's a few energies coming through. There's those of you who are in a cemented relationship, but this isn't the energy that's coming through. It's not a cemented relationship. It's aspects of the external world and where you're physically moving in life on that path have not been clarified. It does make you angry, but it doesn't, because you also know in life there's a process, and you know that there's two energies and sometimes more energies, more people to consider in the aspect of the connection. You're trying to be very neutral, connected to aspects, but you do emotionally have trigger points where you know, it can be that there is an external situation happening that is looking imbalanced, and you're trying to remove your opinion connected to these situations so that the direct people involved can deal with the energies themselves, because you're not wanting to go back over old ground. You're wanting a finalization of a decision to be made, and you don't want to have any input connected to that, because you don't wish for that person to feel disrespected, manipulated, forced, or not supported in some shape or form. It feels like a partnered energy is dealing with a complex decision, and you are having compassion towards them. You're also frustrated. At times you're, you know, very tired. So you're trying to keep the balance in the situation. This might be for some of you that there are financial situations that need to be considered. It might be movement directly connected to accommodation and communication. Remember, this was in the general section the last few months. So those can be elements of areas that you need to directly deal with. Now, again, you know, I'll say, choose your language correct for the person who's trying to understand what you're trying to say. And it may be that you do need to repeat to each other what you're saying so that you understand a particular, and it might be that you're physically two different cultures, but it sort of feels like misunderstandings directly connected to what one person is vibrationally having an opinion on, and what the other one, it doesn't feel they've actually formed an opinion. It feels like the opinion is changing daily, and that's because emotionally speaking, they're on a roller coaster at the moment. So try and picture a white light around them and ground them. There is love here. There's a great deal of love in the connection. And, you know, you're well aware of that. That's why coming into the month, you're feeling that. But I think what is testing you and what is really weighing you both down is actually building it. It's not, you're thinking it's impacting it. You're looking at it from the wrong point of view. What looks like it's breaking it is cementing it, because it's helping you go through those heavy energies. Even if it is very early on in the piece for some of you, it feels as though those challenges are bridging the gap. You do feel that something hasn't got off the ground right away, and some aspects of celebrations and balance and harmony isn't correctly there, and that is because of the energies external to the situation, sometimes internal, and the communication factor. But it's, you feel like you're going to be waiting for a while, and you're actually really, that's upsetting you. That aspect's upsetting you. Now, financially speaking, you're considering aspects, but your fear can actually manifest that. So ground yourself, have faith in yourself, and know that you have all the tools. And if, you know, perhaps you're worried about that, by grounding yourself and using creative solutions, I feel you're going to find a way through the situation. But again, I feel it's directly connected to communication. Hello, Florida. I feel it's connected to communication. So it might be you're speaking about your finances, and, you know, for some of you under one roof, you'll be working out your goals and your aspirations and what you're going to be doing, because it feels like a plan in mind, but it feels like there's several choices and several options of a way of doing something. So it's like it's like a clock, and it's kind of funny. I'm seeing it going around and around and around, and you're thinking, well, can we just pick one dial? So you're not really, you usually like to commit your energy to a goal and achieve it. You're very goal orientated, but this isn't a singular energy. This is a coupled energy. So the way you're going to have to handle it is very much not just from your perspective, but their perspective. Some of the conversation seems a bit one-sided, but I don't think it's an intentional situation. I think it's a misunderstanding and misinterpretation. You energetically might be looking at it from a different point of view, that's all. Okay, this is affecting your health or another person's health, but again, I'm not feeling it's you, and I'm not feeling it's your partner that is causing this situation. I think it's external energies in this situation. I'll pull a clarity on that. They're very tired, but I think it's actually now impacting you where you're tired. It can be that you're physically working too hard, and that your partner's energy has people around them that are being very cruel towards them. Okay, so you're working hard, Libra. And your energy isn't there as much to support. It is, but in a different way, because you can't, you have too many balls in the air. It's like you're trying to deal with finances as well as the emotional areas, as well as, you know, and your partner has this energy that is coming towards them, or that they're currently dealing with, that is a bit of a nasty energy. And it's not them being nasty, it's the energy towards them that is really impacting their health. It's impacting their opinion, their vibration of how they're directly relating with you. So it's not them. Look at it as, and it's not even a mask, it's the influence of the dynamic of the situation that is causing triggers. Now, some situation, which I'm going to clarify, because of these external situations impacting, it can be, you know, maybe they've split and they've got children, or maybe they've got an ex who's, you know, a bit, it just depends on how it relates. Again, too many energies to read for. So what their given situation is, you will understand where this energy directly relates. It can be under their roof, it's physically happening, or external to it, directly connected to a past tense situation. Now, some situation feels iffy, and we're going to, I think it's a situation of the cruel energy that they're currently dealing with. You know, you're looking at it and trying to find solutions, and that's why I keep seeing the dial going around, like going around and round and round, and you're like, can we jump off this Ferris wheel, please? Now, okay, somebody is draining money. You're trying to also, the pressure is there, honestly, around this time of the year due to, you know, financial commitments. You know, Christmas, it could be, you know, for those of you who are partnered that have children, school books, you know, for the new year, food, outings, or it could be holidays that you're physically having with a partner. It feels as though, financially speaking, you're thinking, where's all this money going? Like, I'm working and I'm not having the time, and it just feels like such a waste. Is it ever going to get better? Yes, it is. Remember, the general part of the reading is finances are getting better. So it's an aspect of a challenge the universe has set to you, because you're supposed to be physically focusing elsewhere so your partner can do aspects of healing at a different level. This is an aspect of healing for you. Their aspect of healing is directly connected to the issues they're currently dealing with. Some sense of support obviously is there from you, but other aspects of support is not necessary, because they need to do the work and make the decision and deal with the energy in a way they feel environmentally right. Now, ultimately speaking, there is going to be a movement within your home, or the connection between you. For those of you who aren't living together, it will be a connection and a communication directly connected to improving the commitment. It can be a celebration that this is announced. It can be engagements for some of you, or marriage. It feels as though there's movement directly connected to this, where it's cementing it further. Now, something, again, that's not lasting. So we're going to clarify that. Okay, I feel an external energy very angry. And you felt you had a bubble. You had this happy moment, and there's an external energy coming through that is very negative and aggressive. This could be either sex, but it feels like it is a person from the past. This could be on your side or their side, or it can be family, but it feels that there's an angry energy. Okay. Now, there is hope in this situation, but you're frustrated at these external situations impacting you. It can be that a very calm time comes about and then it gets very heavy. But you're going to have faith in this situation, because you are actually protected. This may actually force the hand, so either on your side or their side, they can ground the energy to remove the negative. Okay, an aspect of a sacrifice will come about. And it can be, you know, putting something on hold, or, you know, balancing the situation out due to, you know, the environment being heavy. So a further assessment is needed. Ultimately speaking, I feel the decision has been made. Now it's tying up loose ends connected to how that's going to happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the energy feels as though an aspect of it is a physical choice and an aspect of it is a physical mess. But the mess isn't directly connected to the final outcome. It's more directly connected to, you know, a decision has been made. Now, how are you going to get from A to B? So that's the mess. It's a bit like having a bunch of taxation paperwork and you're saying, I'm going to get a tax return. And then you're like, yeah, but I've got to do the paperwork. So that's what it's feeling like, if that makes sense. Okay, now, your partner in some aspect of things has not been doing work directly connected to things that they need to do. So this can be a sense of depression, it can be very tired, it can be aspects that are trigger points that they're not wanting to face. So some of it they haven't been able to deal with. Now this could be a soulmate twin flame connection, because whenever I see the swan, to me it's a direct connection. Now, their life is changing completely. It will be, it feels very sudden. It feels as though something happens to force their hand, and it doesn't feel you, it feels external. So something external is going on that is pushing a situation in a certain way so that they are divinely connected where they need to be. They're being stubborn though. They're really not wanting to do this, but the universe is saying, well, we're just going to keep pushing you in the correct direction until you understand that you've worked very hard, you've done all you need to do, and this is where you need to be right now, so trust. Okay, aspects of differences are coming through. And again, this does not directly feel connected to you. It's so strange. It's like you guys have a relationship, but it's feeling like external situations are the given trigger point at the moment. Does this make sense to you guys? So differences. Cool. Okay. An aspect that they're dealing with at the moment is learning to forgive. So they're learning something from this, and it's a natural way of doing things. For those of you who are with them, this could be directly connected to a previous partner that is a trigger point. Now, they may have children, they may not. Don't get paranoid. They're not wanting this situation, although they got the reconciliation in reverse, so there's definitely differences, right? It's not they're getting back with this person, but they're stuck with this person because they're moving away from it somehow. So it's like there might be a connection, but they're definitely going to free themselves from this. So they're definitely not going back to this person for couples, but you know, they're dealing with it. But you will know how this directly relates. This feels like a toxic person who is hazardous for the situation, or they physically just don't see eye to eye. And then there's another energy where it's not the correct given time. So you'll understand what I mean. Otherwise, like I said, book a reading. Your energy. There can be gossip directly connected to this, and it might be that this person externally is not liking you. But it doesn't feel negative. It's so funny. Actually, you are finding it amusing because you do not partake in this sort of talk. It's not who you are. So this is what's coming towards you. Energies are very intrigued by your energy and very challenged by your energy. So they're actually not liking the connection, and it's causing a bit of chit-chat. You are being cautious though, and you are very careful. So it can be that you're being cautious with your cash, you're sharing it accordingly, you're doing the right thing, you're trying to budget for protection for the whole connection, and you're being fair. You're too worried though about you failing, yet you can't carry the whole world on your shoulders, and this is a test that you've got as well. You're really thinking that you have to, and that's in your mindset. That's not the truth. You know, if a trigger point comes about, maybe this is going to happen so that you can realize that you weren't supposed to do that. but your blocks connected to that mindset are going to be tested. It can be your health, you know, where you are very tired and you get sick. Temporary. Yes, it does. But sometimes Librans are too fair. They're too giving. And you want to create that perfect home. You want to create that perfect dynamic. And if a partner maybe is not well or otherwise busy and has dynamics, I mean, some of us could have sick family. Some of us could have excess work commitments. You then overcompensate. And the number one year has been about learning not to overcompensate. Okay, because of the energies going on, your mind is getting very confused. You're questioning the situation, okay? They are, but you're questioning it. But you're also connected to this other person, very concerned about whether they're the person's true love. No, they're not. So you're getting up in your head. So I feel you're co-creating some stuff in your head about this situation. And you have learned to let go because you got this card in reverse. So although you might be thinking it, that's the aspect that needs to be kind of removed in your chakra. But on the aspect of control, you physically have actually let go. Yet you're not living the honeymoon. You're not living the dream at the moment because you are up in your head at the moment. Let's get some advice. By Christmas. Okay, you're dealing emotionally at the moment. Okay, emotionally speaking, you're feeling very triggered because you are otherwise busy working. You're wanting to spend more time to cement the foundations of the relationship, but work commitments are, you know, keeping you busy. You can manage this, and I do feel the warmth will be kind of around mid-month. And it's not that it's not there, it's just look at it as paperwork's being done at the most terrible time of the year to be done. So it's frustrating. It's that finalization of all these situations. And there you go. It is very much feeling like a finalization. A line drawn in the sand so that the movement can move forward. Okay, both of you need to detoxify and cleanse within this relationship. So no guidance is coming because you're very worn out on both sides. You're both trying to do too much. Your partner isn't even being able to invest in their dreams at the moment, and that's why you're getting so frustrated. You're waiting for them to catch up, and it's not that they're not there. It's that emotionally there are restraints around them, and, you know, they're not freeing themselves from it. It can be due to them feeling they can't and they're not allowed to. But it's to do with family commitments. But they're going to have to use their intuition, okay? You're feeling very disconnected from the family because you've got this card in reverse, due to, again, connected to work commitments. You do have compassion for the situation. But because you don't see them as much, you've got this card in reverse, you're not feeling the connection. You're feeling out of the connection. It almost feels like you're being replaced, but you haven't, if that makes sense. We can but feel sorry for ourselves sometimes. Okay. It just feels like you're up in your head about this. You're not kidding yourself, you know. You do know the connection, but you're just tired. I'm going to clean these up, and then I'll pull a couple of cards. And I'll say a quick hello, and then I will go on to the next video, which will be Cancer. I'll obviously stop the streaming and then do that so we can find them. Any questions while we're up here? No questions. Wow. Yes, I think we will get the truth, but I think it's temporarily on hold. I feel as though Librans in the coupled situation are at a crossroad, but it's not a crossroad connected to an ending. It's a crossroad connected to a new beginning. So the new beginning, it's directly connected to partner for some reason, if that makes sense. It feels as though they need to tie up aspects of loose ends, paint the picture of how they think the bigger picture is going to be. Yes, I do feel, you know, someone's your soulmate or the connection because of intuition. Any direct date connected to a special event is relevant to the reading. So it doesn't have to be Christmas. It can be an anniversary. It can be New Year's Day. So it can be directly connected to that. But I find you'll vibrationally know because you'll have a gut instinct about it. Next question. You need to pace your energy as well. I missed that then. That's okay, you're welcome. Only you can decide whether you think you need to separate. It vibrationally needs to be correct for you. Yes, I do feel communications will move forward, but I do feel sometimes around this time of the year there is a pause. Okay, will the Taurus male come back? I feel they're away at the moment. I feel there is a bit of time where they need to do a bit of soul healing first. But you've had a hard time anyway. You need a break too. I can feel a bit of energy around you where you've had a hard time. Claudia, you're Scorpion male. I don't know why, but I'm tapping more into your family. I think you had I can feel a family member who's passed away. They're actually around you quite a bit. You might have had a bit of a health issue that you've been dealing with. You're coming along, but I do feel the person around you. Don't make an assessment if you're torn between the situation. December probably isn't a correct time. So was that relevant, Claudia? I feel it's a female figure as well. Cool. Okay, I'll pull a few cards and then we shall say goodbye for 2017. Unless, of course, we'll do the twin flame video. If I miss some of them, I will try and get the time and I'll write to you guys. Okay, you're balancing two scenarios at the moment. And it's been challenging, but it's nothing you can't handle. We all have these energies where we think we can't handle it, but we do. Okay. Trust your instincts. Situations that don't have the clarity, just step back till you can actually, you know, feel your way through the situation. If a situation is feeling iffy, trust in that factor. It might be directly connected to a person who's cocky. So you might see the reality of a situation. They might be acting like it's okay. But directly speaking, you have a fantastic relationship with the person. Cancerians are actually dealing with a bit of a challenging energy at the moment, and that's directly connected to direction and road. So I feel their energies this month, which I'll be doing theirs next, will be, yeah, we'll see how that goes. The video will be up next. Twin flames, yes, I will do that shortly. I do specialize in twin flame readings as well, as I am a twin flame. But you know, for those of you who have a soulmate connection, please still watch the twin flame video, because they're the environmental energies around us, which is directly going to be related to our natural relationships as such. So if you're having triggers, you know, watch the divine feminine, the divine masculine, because it's going to give you information directly connected to how to use your energy and power. Because that's what our job really is as divine feminines and masculines. Okay, guys, happy Christmas, happy New Year to those of you who celebrate Christmas. If you're wanting an emergency booking and there is not a date there on the website, please email me on the website, and I'll try and tee it up from my side. Please don't stay alone. Please go out there and have some fun with people that you love. And I hope to see you soon, as well as I'd like to say thank you for sharing this road with me in 2017. It's been an amazing journey, and I've met lovely people on YouTube. And my clientele, you've become my family as well. And when I see your comments up there, it's like, hello. So thanks so much, guys. Really humbling, great journey. Love you all. Happy New Year. Bye.